12. Most exciting upcoming sci-fi movies that aren't from Marvel, DC, or Star Wars. Fans should gear up for the next couple of years, as many major sci-fi films are set to be released, and most are not the typical fare from brands such as Marvel, Star Wars, and DC. Star Wars and superhero movies have largely ruled the entertainment industry for some time now. With the MCU's biggest movie of all time, the first Star Wars movie in 7 years, and more cornerstones for James Gunn's new DCU all releasing in 2026, the sci-fi genre is primed for a major year. However, a lot of other exciting movies are on the way as well. Some of them, such as Dune 3, are on fans' radars, but others are more obscure. At one time, it seemed as though the sci-fi genre might be on its last legs. Now, it is more alive than ever, as many moviegoers are simply looking for a great escape from reality. Project Hail Mary is one of the most anticipated films of 2026. Starring Ryan Gosling and directed by Christopher Miller and Phil Lord, the movie follows a man who wakes up on an interstellar spacecraft with no memory of how he got there or what is happening. The upcoming sci-fi flick is being distributed by Amazon MGM Studios and will be released in theaters on March 20th, 2026, and is based on a 2011 novel of the same name. Gosling, working with Lord and Miller, best known for their work on the Spider-Verse movies and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, is enough to get any sci-fi fan to run to the theater. However, the simple premise and exciting trailer, which prove that Gosling's character is an astronaut sent to a different solar system following a catastrophic event on Earth, also sweetens the pot. Dune Part 2 was widely regarded as one of the best and most exciting films of the century. So many fans are anxiously waiting to get back into the theater and see the conclusion of Denis Villeneuve's trilogy. Based on Frank Herbert's novel Dune Messiah, Dune Part 3 will continue the events of the second installment and bring the story to a close that began in the original Dune film. Both previous movies have had star-studded casts, and Dune Part 3 will be no different. Timothée Chalamet will return as Paul Atreides, and he will be joined by the likes of Anya Taylor-Joy, Jason Momoa, Zendaya, Florence Pugh, Rebecca Ferguson, Josh Brolin, and Dune newcomer Robert Pattinson. The film is expected to be released on December 18th, 2026, meaning that it will go head-to-head with Avengers: Doomsday. In 2026, the highest-grossing filmmaker of all time, Steven Spielberg, will make his triumphant return to the world of movies. Titled Disclosure Day, it seems as though Spielberg will turn the clock back to his Close Encounters of the Third Kind days by bringing a mysterious sci-fi thriller to the forefront with a hint of horror. A trailer for Disclosure Day was already released, introducing fans to Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor's characters, as well as some extremely strange animals. At its core, the upcoming movie will center on UFOs and aliens, specifically how the government is trying to cover up their existence to keep the peace. Because this is a Spielberg film, fans are already extremely excited for Disclosure Day's release, which will occur on June 12, 2026. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein won over the hearts of fans in 2025, so March 2026 seems like the perfect time for another Frankenstein-related project to be released. Titled The Bride, the upcoming movie, written and directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, explores Frankenstein's monster and his relationship with a resurrected woman meant to be his companion. Like many other movies on this list, The Bride contains a massive cast led by Jessie Buckley, the bride, and Christian Bale, Frankenstein's monster. Because of the trailers released, the inspiration from 1935's Bride of Frankenstein, and the 1930s setting, many are eager to see this film. For many years, the Resident Evil franchise has been trying to make a film series as successful and beloved as the video games, but its efforts have largely been thwarted. However, in 2026, Sony Pictures will release a new Resident Evil movie directed by Zach Cregger, and many hope it will finally hit the mark. The movie will follow the game's premise and serve as a survival horror film. As mentioned, the Resident Evil video games have millions of fans worldwide, so the movie has the potential to be a great success. Resident Evil is set to be released on September 18th, 2026. A live-action Masters of the Universe film is set for release in 2026, and is being directed by Travis Knight. The Masters of the Universe franchise has been around since the 1970s. Fans have been treated to everything from comics to an animated TV series, and, finally, a live-action feature film is on the way. The upcoming movie is expected to be released on June 5th, 2026, and will star Jared Leto as Skeletor and Nicholas Galitzine as He-Man. Following the traditional storyline, the film will showcase He-Man as he returns to his home planet to save it from Skeletor. The dystopian movie genre was wildly popular in the 2010s, and one particular franchise stood above the rest. The Hunger Games. Since the original series ended, one prequel film, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, was released, but fans are even more excited to see the film adaptation of Sunrise on the Reaping. Sunrise on the Reaping is the latest book in the Hunger Games series, and it focuses on Hamish Abernathy's time as a tribute. The book received rave reviews when it was first released, and fans can't wait to see Hamish's story play out on screen. Also, it has been confirmed that Jennifer Lawrence and Josh Hutcherson will be returning as Katniss Everdeen and Peeta Mellark, so Hunger Games diehards are even more anxious for the movie to finally hit theaters. Godzilla x Kong. Supernova is the next film in the Warner Bros. Monsters franchise. The previous installment, Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, was wildly successful, so Warner Bros. Greenlighting another movie was a no-brainer. The upcoming film is not expected to be released until 2027, so not much is known about the plot. However, Kong and Godzilla are enough star power to get fans from all over the globe to take a trip to the theater, as those two characters are some of the most iconic figures in action movie history. Speaking of successful franchises, Sonic the Hedgehog has proven to be one of the most surefire bets at the box office, which is impressive considering it is a video game adaptation. Sonic is a highly recognizable fictional character of all time, thanks to the Sonic video games released over the past few decades. Next to nothing is known about what will happen in Sonic 4, which is set for release in 2027. But considering Amy Rose and Metal Sonic were featured in Sonic 3's mid-credits scene, it is safe to assume that they will have roles to play in the upcoming title. However, it doesn't matter who is in the movie, as many fans love seeing Sonic, Knuckles, and the rest of the gang on another adventure. According to Sigourney Weaver, as shared by The Hollywood Reporter, filmmaker Walter Hill recently presented a script for a new Alien film to her that would focus on her character, Ripley, later in her life. Weaver essentially called the first 50 pages of the script incredible, saying that she would be open to returning. Nothing has been confirmed yet, but it would be hard to say no to a new Alien film that brings back the franchise's original protagonist and showcases her in a new way. If it were announced, it would likely be a few years before it's released, but many fans would be ecstatic to go back to Alien's roots. Paramount is developing a hybrid live-action film set in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, TMNT, universe, with a late 2028 release. Not much is known about the movie since it is so far away, but TMNT is one of the most recognizable and timeless franchises ever, so a ton of fans are already excited for a potential reboot. It is not set to be released until 2029, but Avatar 4 has got to be one of the most exciting upcoming sci-fi movies, if not the most exciting. The Avatar movies are objectively the greatest sci-fi action films of all time when measured solely by box office numbers. Every time a new Avatar is about to be released, the naysayers claim it won't cross $1 billion. Well, every entry in the franchise has hit that milestone, so there is no reason to believe that Avatar 4 won't do the same, especially considering there will be a longer gap between the third and fourth movies than there was between the second and third.